Oh, I muggered up that button. Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to be going into playing a little game by Cyberstep. This game is called Onigiri. Has some pretty banging tunes, actually. We'll go ahead and log in here. If you guys remember right, Cyberstep put out this game a few years ago. And I'm gonna kill the music. It's in my headset. But, let me put settings right now. Ooh, gotcha ticket. So, what's about this game? What makes it special? What makes it annoying? As I slowly die inside a little bit because of the annoyingness, but alright, so what makes this game special? Cyberstep put out this game a few years back, and this game's been subject to a little bit of controversy. Currently, dedicated PC and Microsoft do not have this game anymore. That has to do with the fact of the way they structured getting items. You can buy items for real money. Microtransactions, big deal. However, you can also, I guess you would call it gamble for real money to get items. Not exactly the greatest idea, but, you know, things happen. I don't know if I can actually use a gotcha ticket on. Weird. Oh, I have to claim it, that's why. Now they did do some stuff, like PlayStation Plus having an ability if you actually charge up some OC to give you a bundle pack. Still, but more or less, it's just one of those things that the game is what it is. It's a grind. So our basic premise is, obviously you can see we have little gargoyles and rather nasty things, it's basically an MMO. Now, being an MMO means that, well, levels are ridiculous. Well, 125, we're in the billions of, almost tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions of experience points to get to the next level. So the game does have a very long what do you call it? A long grind, a long playability. We are going to be playing this on PS5. And it is going to cause some instability, so I'm going to be admitting that right now. The game is not stable on the PS5 for obvious reasons. I have been playing it with it localized on the actual hard drive for the PS5, not the extended storage drive for PS4 games. And I've actually been doing pretty well with it. So overall experience, the stability's still off, but it's not completely off. Definitely make sure you close the game if you have a PS5 and you're playing this. Don't, like, you know, pause out of it and think you're going to come back. You'll automatically get an error. It's just the way it is. It doesn't pause. Well, that also has to do with access to servers, but we have a list of partners that we collect over the course of the story. All these partners have little items that you have to get their friendship up. These friendships are maxed. This is where they are. In about 4 years since I played this game, they've never actually increased the friendship levels. Cyberstep's a little slow on some stuff, but they do come out with a lot of events. We're actually working on getting a few other things taken care of. If you play the gacha games or get gacha tickets from logins, you can get some pretty powerful characters. Azuna here is actually a free one that you can get. If you do certain events, you can get certain characters. Linatejo was a free one during her event. You can still play some of them. You also can get little yokai that will help you out along the way, especially if you're right in the beginning. You're going to want to get these, but they did implement recently, sometime in the last 4 years, where this mount here, the horse, the base horse, is available right at the beginning of the game. Now, the robots here are also available at the beginning of the game, but I'm also level 125, so I can do the dungeons for them. I believe you can get this version of the robot at a low level, but not this one. This one requires quite a bit of gear. So, just little things. If you got gargoyles and stuff, you can obviously do different stuff. But overall, I mean, it's a guilty pleasure. It's got some gorgeous areas. I mean, the areas are spot on. The render distance is a little weird, don't get me wrong, but it goes basically through different Japanese cities in a anime-esque feudal Japan. It's not quite completely feudal, as a lot of stuff has, you know, a lot of things have guns, cannons, stuff like that, but you're pretty limited. Most of your dungeons and stuff are going to be requiring you to get different items, different fights, whatnot, but it's guilty pleasure. It's one of those games that really lets you experience kind of the Japanese MMO culture without, you know, going completely into it. The gargoyle I have behind me actually helps with healing, so that's why she's here. But yeah, you're basically, your enemies are going to be these various items. Now, I didn't need to kill them with that. I'm well strong enough to just pretty much die. So. Now, as far as your weapons go, you're going to have to craft weapons and level up weapons, as you would in most RPGs. Then you're going to have to smelt them and level them up. Now, it's expensive. That 200 million coins I have over there is my money I have to upgrade weapons. That's not enough. The weapons I'm currently carrying are right around the neighborhood of about $1 billion in in-game currency. That's the culmination. So, you do have some mouse and keyboard interface stuff. Honestly, would this game be a lot easier to play with mouse and keyboard? Yeah. Huh. It probably would be. But, just looking at a few things here I want to see. I think I got cheated. It happens. You're going to have to build characters. You have different classes. I'm running a spear character right now. You have different swords. Pretty much any weapon you can think of. Sword, axe, odachi, spear build, healing spellcaster, actual, yeah. Oh well, I got cheated. I'll deal with that later. But you have different stuff, obviously. You have boosters, you have to help get items. We're actually working on a quest right now to get a bunch of items for that, so we'll probably be using a couple boosts. Food is a thing. Alcohol consumption is a thing in this game. You need alcohol to do certain things, hence the cups down here. But this game's a guilty pleasure. Obviously, I'm pretty good at the game. I've grinded it up, gotten, you know, a lot of levels and whatnot over the years, and it was not too bad for the grind. Wow. Alright, whatever. But it is not a total mind-boggling grind. If you put the hours in, you will get the high-level characters and whatnot. We always joke about the fact with the gacha system. Weird. That, you know... Alright, I'm going to turn the sound effects down again. I wasn't going to turn the sound effects down, but I think we have to. Yes, it's that annoying. You gotta go one by one because the slider bars are still wonky. Even on PS5, basically 4 years later, they're still buggy. It's not a pure port to PC, but it is a pretty good port. The dungeon does have, the game has one very big thing, and this thing is one of the biggest things that makes me so much happier than any other game. This is why I play it. This game has a scaling power fantasy. Meaning, if you have somebody that's a level 3, or a level 4, or somebody's just starting out, you can start a party with them through the party system, and actually just go grab a dungeon and carry them through a dungeon. Now, depending on how good your player's set up and everything else, how good your character's set up, you could actually have 5 people in your dungeon and you're the only one in the dungeon. Or in your party and you're only in the dungeon. It will scale the difficulty because there's 5 people in the party, but it doesn't change the fact that you could probably hit something with your weapon without using one of those skills down there and still kill it. Because you're a level 125. You're in a level 5 dungeon. Of course, you should be able to just, you know, smack something and it dies. So it has that kind of, it has that scaling difficulty power fantasy, along with the fact you can just out and out be a god in the lower areas, the original starter areas, and be, you know, able to do the damage that you're capable of doing at the higher level areas without having to worry about the enemies just automatically being that much more tanky against you. What does this mean? This means if we compare it to something like Destiny 2, this would be, it would take 1 bullet or less to kill all enemies in, say, the EDZ starter area. Or the Cosmodrome is the new light area right now. So basically somebody who is a level 15, 75 or 1600 with the best gear in the game and a build in the game. You all know how builds work in Destiny. A lot of Destiny players are on my channel. So basically that build actually would show your abilities in this type of game. Now, you just seen somebody killed something with like 3 million damage or something like that. Yeah, 1 million damage. Somebody's up there killing stuff for ridiculous amounts of damage for no reason. Nothing up there requires that much damage. It's got to be a sword build. A single hit. But anyways, it's a little nicer to be able to live that power fantasy and actually be the overpowered, you know, protagonist for a little bit. It's not to say this game doesn't require help. It requires a lot of help throughout. There's many a times where you have to get parties together and stuff. I'm playing this also because the one simple fact. The game is not as active as it used to be. I mean, it's expected. A lot of Americans are not really into a game like this, and I can understand why. it's a grind. But I want to get rid of her. I actually probably dismissed, summoned her, and then resummoned her. It is a grind. Now, with mount-wise, I wanted to actually switch out the gargoyle for the mount anyways. So, you got some cool mounts here. I mean, like I said, graphically, it's visually pleasing. It does have a little bit of an anime feel to it, but let's face it, a lot of people play Genshin Impact. And Genshin Impact's been guilty of the fact it has an anime feel to it too. It also has gacha games. This came before Genshin Impact. Now, I probably would love Genshin Impact, but it doesn't have character creation the way that I want it. That's kind of the reason why I don't want to play Genshin Impact. It doesn't have a lot of the, you know, you're based on whatever Genshin battlers you have. That's where you have your skills and everything else. You can't legitimately build characters like this with an RPG. So, I know, I've been blaming, I've been yang it, you know, running on and running on at the mouth. I am going to go ahead and I think I'm going to run a 300% drop boost, I think, not an XP boost. Yeah. So the dungeon we're currently working on is this level 120 dungeon. So we'll get some dungeon fight play in here, and we'll just kind of show you how things work with the game. Soundtracks change depending. The other nice thing about this game is you have the kiting physics, where I can actually run around, get the attention, aggro them, and they're going to group up and come to me. Why is that important? Well, their abilities depend on your weapon. The more you can get these guys to actually group up, the better off you are. You do not want to be fighting these guys one-on-one all the time. Now, some of the stuff you have to kind of fight one-on-one. The cannoneers here are not going to move, so let's just get rid of them. We don't want these guys shooting at us. The little sandal guys here will group up to a point, so we can kind of do stuff with that. It's also about angles. Like, I can kill that umbrella because I got to this angle. So, you do have dodge abilities. This game right here is got a little bit of an issue with how it does everything. You'll understand what I mean. To dodge out of the way, you have to hit the left joystick like twice. So if you have any controller drift whatsoever in one of your sticks and maybe you haven't noticed it yet, you're going to find out real quick. Because your character is going to roll out of the way and you didn't touch the button. It happens. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I love this game. You guys that are anime fans may have noticed that this game actually did have an anime. Short little, I think it was 8 episodes. They were like 5 to 10 minutes each. Nothing real special, but it did have a little anime that went along with it. And obviously you can see it does have manga pages as well. I think the manga is actually built into the game. It's not a physical thing you can go buy, but I honestly have never researched it either. was kind of a cheeky kill. I knew he was coming back down. Switch weapons for a minute. So I try and get these guys gathered up because this is right before the first of the 2 boss fights. So there's a mini boss fight here. I guess you could call it that. Yeah, each one of your skills actually levels up too. The only way to level up your skills is to actually use them. Alright. Now I know, because I played this game enough, that this boss fight requires elemental damage. So, that's another thing. You have to worry about elements. So these 4 cute little fluff balls with razor teeth are actually going to be our various enemies for the moment. I'm actually going to jump on him. Try and kite these enemies up a little bit. He's trying to force me back into the fight. With good reason, but I was just trying to take the item. Ow! I got hit in the face again. I'm using my partner characters basically to save my own weapon. Now, once you do enough damage to these little sprites right here, you'll actually get, they'll knock themselves out. You see that one's over there not following us? So what I want to do... Oh, our dog died. Well, he ran out of stamina anyway, so... So now we're only fighting, well, we're fighting none. So basically just now we just beat them up and they're unconscious. No. So we needed 300, we ended up with 246. Takes about 10 minutes. Some dungeons you can get done in 30 seconds. If you can go fast enough, you can actually get done in 30 seconds, and that's possible. So now there are other things too. If you guys notice up there above the map, we have the world boss. Or the channel, which is going to allow us to get access to different world bosses. Depending on which area you're in, you can actually find multiple channels, sometimes 3 and 4, sometimes more. So it's always a good idea to kind of just make sure you pay attention to the interfaces. You come over here to System, you can see this channel select option. That's what I'm talking about. See how there's very little, if any, controller drift in my left thumbstick, but the game picks up on it because the sensitivity is so high on the game. It's meant to be mouse keyboard. So think of it as like your games that you're playing with your computer mouse, and you have a 1000 DPI higher than what you're, used to, and you're trying to move around. Eventually you let go of it, and the DPI is like, nah, you're still moving. So, I'm going to go into the temporal rift right here for a moment. And so, this is kind of our teleport area. This is all the different cities and stuff we unlocked over the way. Just various items. Now, I don't have to go in here, honestly. I just was going in here because of reasons. I see you got a level 3 right here that we could actually probably help out if we wanted to, but... Now, there is a way for you to spend real money and buy weapons and armor. It's called a bazaar system. You can actually buy stuff that other people found and whatnot. Now, I make a comment about there's not a lot of players, but if you look, most of the players around here are very high level. Oh, Aurelia. Uh, Aurelia over there actually has a YouTube channel on this as well. So, probably still one of the few people that streams. Now, if you can deal with the kind of minor annoyances that come with the territory of whatnot, I didn't need to talk to this horse, because, you know. If I give it carrots, I can buy stuff. Yeah, I know I'm fighting that mouse everywhere. It's not very smooth, but part of that has to do with the fact, too, the PlayStation does have the ability to pick up, like, 2.4, and I use a lot of wireless gear. Normal games don't pick it up, but this game has mouse and keyboard integration, so it's, like, almost picking up the mouse at the same time. So, yeah. So that horse requires 14 scrolls. Each scroll costs 30 carrots. So, see where that goes. We have 12 points. And whatever. Let's throw into Vitality. Vitality is the defense build. It's also how you build spears. Spears are built as a defensive weapon. Although it's one of the primary weapons that most people run. Eventually, everybody runs a spear build. It just kind of happens. You have hardcore freaking sword build guys and axe build guys, but for the most part, you know, yeah, RO right there has been around forever. I actually have RO on my friends list. That being said, this is Onigashima. This would be your starting town. Pretty cool little town. Stupid horse. These red crystals actually take you to dungeons, so you don't have to go all the way across the map to get to them. The area up here takes you to the special area. This is where the special dungeons are. Not necessarily event dungeons, but, you know, various other dungeons. Like I said, I have a guilty pleasure for this game, just because it does allow you to do, you know, the power fantasy. Go in and actually beat stuff up that is way under your level very easily. If that makes me a bully, so be it, but, you know. So you get out here, these are kind of the open world map areas. They're not really open world, they're kind of paths, but these are the areas between towns. And in areas between towns up to a certain point, you can find world bosses. Now, every world boss in here I can pretty much single shot. None of them are really that strong. However, like, I let him have that kill because why not? Level 72, I used to be that guy. So that was a world boss. Fairly base level world boss, as it's right here. It's only like a level 30. They still have a pretty stout amount of health. Not gonna lie, they do. I'm actually using the mount just to get around because I know where the spawns are, so I know where it's gonna pop up. Now, real quick, we'll take care of, I'll show you the channel select system, how that works. So basically, we're going to go and say, all the world bosses on channel 1 are gone. If I can make it behave. So we want to move to channel 2. So we get a quick brief loading screen. We're going to spawn in right where we were. on channel 2. Now we're going to run around and see if we can find the world boss. Now if you notice, the little fire icon down there next to our weapon slots is slowly turning red. That's our durability. If you break your weapon, it makes your durability suffer. Don't want to break your weapon. Alright, here's a nice world boss. Alright, let's poke it real quick, and it's going to give us a bunch of stuff. It's going to give us some friendship items. It looks like a Magatama. And it's going to give us a bunch of money boxes. Now, remember what I said about money? The gold coins over there. Those aren't enough. If you're short on money, hunting world bosses is a great way to get money, because you can get 99 of those, each one of those boxes fairly quickly. So, just something to keep in mind. Once you get a little more established, you start, not using the weapons provided. Going over here and smacking world boss gets the job done. We always call them field bosses, but a lot of people are adapted to the world boss. If you play like Final Fantasy 14 online or something like that, you probably heard of world boss. So, we're going to go with world boss for now, just for the moniker. The one thing I don't like is when you switch areas, if you're on a mount, you get kicked off the mount and have to walk again. Now, usually it's just a quick button click and you're fine, but sometimes you can't get back on the mount right away, and that's unfortunate. But I figure we can take a quick lap real quick and see what's going on with the world bosses. Show you some of the different areas of the map. I think that's the best way to do it. If you were starting out, you'd spend most of your time in that area, then you'd come to this area and have to, clear enemies on the Ozumi Plains. Now the Ozumi Plains and its applicable dungeons are fine. The world boss, on the other hand, is a lot stronger here. So, kind of something to keep in mind. When you're going to run across a world boss, it's going to be a little bit more troublesome than the last time you ran across one, because you probably got really good at the first area and getting your party to be able to take down the world boss. But like I said, this one's a little bit stronger. Bento Cat. So this one is actually perfect timing. Streamer RNG, I swear. The Jago right here. He's level 40. Quite a bit stronger. The other thing is, these things are worth a ton of experience. The reason why I have the horse out right now is I need to level up the horse. It gets experience based on your kills, so having the horse around in areas where you can control the situation means you can get the horse to be a higher level. Why do I want to get the horse leveled up? I don't know. Because I think it'd be funny to have a level 150 freaking horse. So, Katatsu Village, or Kasoto Village, whatever it's called, I don't remember. Kumaso Village. Now, let's stop off real quick at Ibaraki. I need to get some more alcohol real quick. There is a fill all button, and it does save what you want to do. I was just not using it. So each one of your side characters that you pick up throughout the game is going to have different perks. Storage, weaponsmithing, store, you know, crafting of different stones. Your Magatama is what it is called in here, I guess. But all that's going to basically be set up for farming. So much money. Now, honestly, as a high-level player, if you want to know how I got this high level, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I would just make laps from here to the last area where field bosses spawn, kill all the field bosses, and then run it backwards back to Onigashima, and then start again. I would just run back and forth. You could teleport, sure, but you could use the little teleport crystals to teleport to each town area and go from there, but honestly, just running it was just as easy. The other thing I would do when I was playing this game hardcore is I would also make sure I did an entire area on Channel 1 and Channel 2 before moving on. Field bosses are aplenty though. You can hear that celebration music. That's actually the horse leveling up. Now, there is also the possibility of multiple field bosses spawning in areas. So, the way this area works, there's a dungeon up here. And there's a possibility that a field boss can spawn down there, and you could actually just go, oh, well, I got the field boss for this area. And there could be another one up here. Or world boss, whatever. Field boss is so much more fluid for me. So, real tired of that. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. Areas are going to change depending on where you're at. This village is very much different than the others. You have townspeople, they have different quests and stuff. Side quests are aplenty. I don't know how to explain that any further. I have probably 150 open side quests at the moment, and that was when I logged back in and kind of play tested this with the PlayStation 5. I went and picked everything up. So, yeah, side quests are aplenty. There's no shortage of respawning ads either if you want to just kill ads. Now, the Yago here is no longer the field boss, because we're in a new area. What we're looking for is this wizard. So, if you notice, the field boss changes depending on where you're at, too. So, each field has different field bosses. Now, the way Izumo is set up, it's basically one area. There's no offshoot areas, so... as we're on fire. You can see that the field bosses are going to be on this area quite a bit. Now, I am having pretty good luck. A lot of people don't have good luck with field bosses. Some people, you know, go an entire round and don't find one. Get over here, because your weird little prattling is getting on my nerves. But I don't know, I like this game just because it's kind of relaxed. Yes, there's a lot of stress involved with some of the boss fights and whatnot. But for the most part, you know, it is what it is. It's kind of just a game. Now you would think, the way the level's designed and the way I've been working my way through levels, that would be the way to the next area. It's not. We actually have to go up to the... back up here to that platform to get to the next area. There's also a very real possibility that another field boss will spawn on our way back. It doesn't happen a lot, per se, but depending on your area and depending on your respawn rate, you might get lucky. So, something to consider. So we're going to the beautiful city of Kyoto. Everybody knows Kyoto, Japan. And Kyoto's a bit of a maze. Kyoto's huge. If you notice, we have a lot of quests. A lot of completed quests, a lot of... Oh, God, the horse. So it's asking me to give him something, So a Namara Tahachi is a weapon that we have to give him. Now we usually have that weapon, but for a reason, right now, we do not. A lot of the stuff here in Kyoto is just basically soft locked because when, you know, you don't play the game for 4.5 years or whatever, you got to go re-talk to the guys that clear areas. The other thing is you end up with party members that exist and don't exist at the same time. So a lot of the missions in this area I have to turn in quests because I've brought somebody here or whatnot. They've asked to come along. Now they're not actual physical members of my party, but they do exist in the game as being with me. So it kind of makes things a little interesting, a little sketchy. As far as the way the game reacts. So, if you want a more fluid gameplay experience, maybe don't take every single quest. Ah, there we go. Shinigami. Now there's dungeons all over this map too. Oh, right there. The other thing is you may notice a lot of this isn't translated. Cyberstep did okay with it, and then they kind of, they didn't get lazy, they just kind of didn't have a translator anymore. So, rather than translate the entire game into English, with some of the markets that they closed off, like Europe, they just went with the, well, part of it's in English, part of it's in Japanese, deal with it. Honestly, I'm okay with it. I don't care because the quest card is still translated, but the dialogue box isn't, which I don't read the dialogue anyways. This game has a huge, rich story. By all means, it does. But, you know, it's not something that... I don't know why I'm going that way. I need to go this way. It's not something that I'm, like, chomping at the bit to go after, you know? Always basically took the story of this game with a grain of salt and said, well, yes, I know it's there. No, I don't really care. I'm actually going to use the crystal here. So, let's go to the rift, and we're going to go to the next area. If you get lost, just find the teleport crystal if you're going to a certain village or whatnot. Like, we were going to Sekigahara, so I don't really want to figure out where Sekigahara's entrance is out of Kyoto, because I don't have a quest marker for it anymore, so I'll just use the rift. So, Sekigahara is basically just an old war-torn battleground. There is 2 areas in this spot to have field bosses, then they have different field bosses. So, the first area is obviously main Sekigahara here. And you can see it's a battleground. There's, you know, fallen soldiers running around. There's various, like, centipede-type worms running around. Pretty bad place overall, just in general. Nether Sekigahara, which has I believe the last and hardest field boss, is just to our south. So it's down that way. Yeah, as you can see, even like Sekigahara is a huge open map. It's basically just an open area you can run around in. So. Now watch, I won't get streamer RNG on the field boss for this area, and it'll be a hunt. Now, for new players or people that are just getting to these areas and don't have somebody to kind of help them through, these field bosses are terrifying. Don't get me wrong. They have millions and millions of health. They're ridiculously powerful. But there are strategies. There are ways to kind of get them stuck on stuff. Sekigahara is good for that because there's fences. So that they're not constantly killing you. Like the field boss in this area is this big wheel. And she will chase you around. You can actually get her to where she's stuck. I actually killed her with the wrong weapon just to prove a point. She is a fire elemental, so realistically, you would probably use a water-based or ice-based weapon on her. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So if I use a water-based weapon, she's essentially a one-shot kill. So I took my cover off my PlayStation to kind of clean up the stick drift a little bit off the controller around the sticks. Kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and yeah, it didn't seem to help. Huh. All these areas have little portals on the, like Sekihara has portals on the side that allow you to go to an area where your repair people are and whatnot. So don't worry too much about that if you're out here farming stuff, your weapons start to break. There are towns close, in this case bases. But if we come down here to the southernmost front of the area, we have a portal appear right here. Now, this area is where you find the last of the nasty field bosses. Honestly, probably the worst out of the bunch. The hardest to find, the trickiest, and definitely one you can miss. We are actually hunting essentially death. It's called Death Sight. Death Sights have quirks, as you'll notice. I start looking behind me. They may not render, as you won't be able to see them, and they'll start following you around the map, and then you turn around and run into like 2 or 3 of them. It happens all the time. I don't know why. It's something with the rendering, the way the render code's set up, but it can be quite terrifying, and I think it actually works because it is terrifying. At any point in time, you could turn around and have a gigantic, you know, scythe-wielding Reaper chasing you down across the field, and I think that's just, I don't know. I think it's a really good aspect. It's annoying after you play the game for a while, but I understand what they were going for. They wanted him to be very hard to find, very hard to see. You know, something that could be following you and you wouldn't notice. Now I do have a general idea where they should be, so that helps. And this is with a render distance of over 100, so I mean it's not like render distance the problem. Speaking of the devil, I didn't see him and almost got murked by him. Also one of the few kill bosses that takes me multiple hits. He's also worth like 1,000,000 experience points too. Oh dear God. See what I mean? I actually heard his charging up of his attack and his scythe right there. I didn't see him. That was the second one and I didn't see him. Channel 1, they usually travel in pairs. That's what I've noticed recently. But yeah, we never seen him. We fought the other one and never seen the second one. So that's why I said the field boss in this area is definitely a little sketchy. As far as the game goes, main storyline wise, I actually don't think. Oh, geez, hello. I'll take a third death scythe for the day. If anything else, for the memes. Good lord. Getting all kinds of lucky. Now, the field boss depends a lot on the hunters, too. If people are out field boss hunting, your chance of running across a field boss that isn't dead immediately, or you're going to get a shot in on to get experience, is probably not going to be a thing, unless somebody's nice enough to open a party. Now, if I had seen a low-level player, like a 70 or something in here, and had found the Death Scythe, I would have kited the Death Scythe around and probably opened a party, and said, hey, come on, I can kill it, you know. Just come over here and join me and I'll kill it for you, and then we can go ahead and disband the party. And I'm fine with that. I know a lot of other players are fine with that too. They don't mind sharing the experience. It doesn't matter. Now, each one of those death sites gives you $1 million. That's the other thing. Each one of those has a box that gives you that's $1 million. They actually give you like 2.5 million, I think. So something to consider if you're hunting. Or you're looking for money or something, field boss are a great way to do it. Because you can make a lot of money real quick. Now I have, wow, in my inventory a thing. I don't use these very often, but I do have them. Called a star fragment. You actually get it from the moon. Yeah, we go to the moon. It's crazy. So what a star fragment does is it actually just lets you go in areas where you can't teleport and teleport back to the rift. And it actually transports you back to the area, like Onigashima area. So, something to keep in mind if you're playing on stuff and you're going through various things, that it is a possibility. Now, what I wanted to do is get someplace where I don't have to worry about enemies or a random death scythe to see where our... Yeah, look. Our horse is now level 48. That's the process of field boss hunting. Looks familiar too. Ichigo, very snow covered. Katatsu. This is where we started, basically, when we started the stream, so... And you can block as well, I just don't usually block. Certain dungeons do require that energy that you see up there in the corner. It does actually have a use. Now the repair fairies keep this stupid woman. Yes, she's stupid. I've given her probably 8,000 books on weaponsmithing, and she still manages to occasionally break my weapons. So I can call her stupid. She's annoying. But anyways, yeah, each one of these characters has their own little purpose. Most of these are like gods too, if you notice. Susanoo, Moroku, Amaterasu, these are gods. They could help you, but they're, you know, just gonna not be a god when they do it. He doesn't have anything good to sell. I wonder how much money we got doing that little field boss run. This is why I say it's lucrative to do the field boss stuff, just because the amount of money you can get is ridiculous. And there are dungeons that are like this too, where you'll get tons of chests just from, you know, you don't need a lot of this stuff. It's actually clogging up my inventory. Now what's depressing is you can only sell Moroku 20 items at a time. But you can sell him everything in a stack at the same time, so. I don't remember what Momo does. Oh, he does skill evolution. So if you have like healing, you max out a skill, you can go ahead and evolve that skill. You can also extract skills if you have a skill you want to extract, like. You know, let's say I wanted to extract, I don't know, Water Dragon Spear 5 from something. I could do that. Now, I don't know why I would, because that's just silly, but he's really great once you max out a skill. Now, my Water Dragon 7, I'm trying to evolve, and it's actually almost to level 69. It's getting there. Once I can evolve that, I'll evolve it. Same thing with this. This is actually available for evolution, but it can't be evolved yet, if that makes sense. It's there, but it's not there. Same thing with these other options. They never really had a plan for people who would actually want level, you know, 10 skills. Amaterasu here gives you titles. Titles determine your your succession ratings. I don't remember what my title actually is. Good question, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what my title is, if I even have one anymore. So, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. I don't have... Achievements are daily, weekly, monthly, so... I swear I had a title, but it doesn't say I have a title, which is weird. Oh. Okay. I got a little extra cash. Let's see what I want. I thought I had a Tori Hanzo or something at one point. That one's not bad. It might have cleared them because I was inactive for so long, which is possible. Which could explain why I feel a little weaker than normal. Yeah, see, those are the ones I was actually trying to get into, are these. Tengai would be a not bad title to get. That one's pretty good. What is it? Take the name. Oh, so that one you have to take a name to get a drop rate. Interesting. That one's not bad. Kato Kuzumayo. Yeah. And titles matter for builds too, so I could click any one of these and be fine, but I've had Lupin before. That's actually a pretty good one. Yeah, Hattori Hanzo. I've had that one before as well. It didn't really do anything for me. I think that's why I got it. Just deleted it. I wasn't using it. This is the one I wanted. The hero title. This thing is stupid, but it has no qualifications. No idea how to get it. That one's not bad. So this one requires you to have like a, I believe, dex. Yeah. And some of the best titles in the game aren't actually the ones at the bottom of the list. You'd think, oh, this is a silver title, it's better. Yeah, not so much. Thief title. I think that one and something else. There's one other one. This one gives me 400% power, but this gives me 5 vitality, which is the same thing, and more affinity, plus I get power, so. Now, in theory, that should come up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it took away my title because I didn't have it for whatever. That'll help though. It gives you a plus whatever here. So if the game is true to form from what I've seen, I think we can go up another 75 levels. That's probably not going to give us the points we need to go much higher on a lot of this stuff, but the other thing is I can actually switch to a dual wield sword build with the way my character's built. Anyways, I know, probably not the most enjoyable thing in the world, but it was kind of a quick little rundown of Onigiri and what it's all about. It's little finicky quirks. I mean, what are you going to do? But as you can see, I mean, the quest list gets extensive. There's hundreds of quests here. And each one needs, like, you know, some little stupid thing here. You know, clear this on hard difficulty, have this, clear this. So, and each dungeon has the opportunity to not only drop weapons, but also weapon recipes. And then you can craft weapons like these that are recipe-based weapons. There are some actual really cool weapons in the base level. There's some creative licensing choices they've made, I guess you would call it. Stuff like the Master Sword, Predator Spear. Yeah, this thing is basically... I forgot how to equip weapons. Oh. I remember how to do it now. Let's say I want to get rid of the night sky for some ridiculous reason. So you can see there's a lot of different weapons. One. Different spears. The planet piercer. Predator spear. So like I said, the Predator spear is definitely one of those that it looks like the spear from the movie Predator. It does. Huh, ice crystal spear. I never thought about that one. Lance of Flame. Omen of Doom. Maximilian. So you do have different items and possibilities of stuff. If you want to do bow builds, you can do bow builds. If you want to go back to the base level sword and just be a base level sword that has no durability problems, that's an option. Onigiri starts you out with a little sword, a little short sword, and lets you kind of feel it out from there by getting weapons. So, anyways, guys, thanks for, kind of dipping your toes in. I may do some more streaming on this as we progress and stuff, get some different feedback and whatnot. I don't know. I might even contact Cyberstep and let them know I'm streaming it and that I'd like a little Cyberstep support. But, we'll see how that goes. I doubt they'll actually do anything, but it'd be kind of nice. The game is grindy. Don't be wrong. It is. You're going to spend a lot of time doing a lot of different things you're probably not really happy about, but it also is a game that obviously you can put down for years at a time, and as long as it's still online, pick up right where you left off and still be at the top of the food chain if you actually made it up that high. So, I mean, there's very few people currently who are as powerful as, the 125 and higher tier. It's pretty much all of the left in players. There's a few new ones, and I hope a lot of you guys give this game a try. My name, all my primary characters right up there in the bar. If you happen to see me running around Onigashima and you're actually a subscriber, or even if you just happen to catch the video and you, get my attention. Hop in front of me. Hey, put a party up. Seen you on YouTube. Want to play? I don't mind. Or send me a message on, send me a comment with your character name, and I'll be on the lookout, see if I can find you. But anyways, guys, thanks again. Like I said, this is a guilty little pleasure. I think we're going to be streaming a little more Destiny this week. Talking to the clan and the group, and they seem to be on the same page about Vault of Glass. So, from me and my little Yoshi chibis who are waving on my shoulders there, I'm Dragon. I will see you guys next time.